Those who don't know me, my name is Kenesha Berry. I am a relationship life coach. The relationship I help my clients with is the relationship they're having with themselves. And guys, listen, I love, hey Aunt Tony, I love being a life coach. I my my virtual assistant, I recently hired a virtual assistant, and today she asked me, she says, why don't you ever talk about your coaching program? And I thought, I don't know, like, so my program, Awakening, here's why I absolutely love this program. Because without a doubt, if you commit to the work that I have in that program, you can shift your entire life, the way you think, your entire being, like in 6 weeks. And I don't say that lightly, and I don't say that to boast, because that whole program was, in my heart and mind, was like totally inspired and written through me, but by God. And so he just gave me these 6 steps, these 6 processes to put in place in your life that will begin to shift you out of self-doubt, out of fear, out of the false beliefs you have about yourself. So that's what my program does. Now, will these things still come up? Like, so as Christians, we know that there is the Holy Spirit, God energy, love. We know that. And therefore we know there's an adversary, Satan, the devil, Lucifer, whatever you call them. So those things are always going to be a part of your life. Like, you're going to always be at battle. But here's what Awakening does, my program. It wakes you up. It wakes you up to what I call the zombie-like state that your heart and your mind will be in, even though, like, you're full on in love with God, go to church, pray and praise. Sometimes we have what the Bible calls strongholds. And without the awareness of the stronghold, without understanding what the stronghold is doing to your mind, you think this is your normal. And so what God used that program to help me do is to awaken, to literally, okay, Kenesha, when you're operating in your sleep state and when you're operating in your awakening state. So it's the difference between making my decisions, my thoughts, my choices from love, or am I making my decisions and choices from fear? And fear being Satan influence, love being God influence. And God will lead you right to your perfect path. Not that your life will be perfect, but he'll lead you to your perfect path, where your dreams, your godly desires, your destiny awaits. So that's what my program Awakening is. So boom, there's my plug. There's my plug. And if you're interested, it's in the title, so you can click on the link to learn more about it. But I hope you stick around with me. And hey, Aunt Murdis. Hey, I'm going to mispronounce it. I'm going to say Miss Bazemore. How about that? So I'm mispronouncing it. So thanks for being on with me. And today I just want to talk about why he will never make you happy, or she will never make you happy. And for disclosure, I'm going to tell you what inspired this teaching. I love one of my favorite shows to watch online is Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett Smith. I love that show. And so even though I watched the show when it first came out, when she and Will Smith shared their marriage story, I've watched that show over and over, because it's so full of nuggets about what love is and the way we think of love. And what I think they are this amazing, big, huge example to all of us, how you can have it all: the big house, the car, all of the money, the children. Like, you can have all of that stuff and still not be happy. And so that's what Jada shares about, and how Will was asleep, not awakened, to who he was bringing into the marriage, and why he couldn't understand why Jada wasn't happy, because he had given her everything. And as he said on the thing, and she still wasn't happy. And so he thought winning was like winning in life, being successful, having the cars, being a superstar was the answer. And so he thought if he was winning in life, then he was winning in a relationship. And so many of us, first of all, some of us don't know how to win in relationships, feel like we're not winning in life, and think that there's something outside of ourselves that's going to bring us happiness. And so that type of thinking creates, one, it's a stronghold. So it's a deep spiritual belief that will hold you down, hold you hostage, keep you sad, angry, bitter, and resentful because you're holding on to a belief that's just not true. And as long as you have a belief that's not true and you're trying to make it bring you happiness, bring you joy, like a lie, a false belief, fantasy can never do what truth was designed to do. I hope somebody got that. Like, so a lie, false beliefs, fantasy thinking can never do what truth was designed to do. And that's why I believe the scripture says, and the truth will set you free. Right? So the first thing I want to talk about, and I kind of put the points up at the top if you're interested in looking at the top of the screen, where I talk about the reason why he will never make you happy is because he's not supposed to, or she's not supposed to. And the sad thing is, we all get in these relationships, and many of us grow up desiring marriage or desiring that perfect person, or we're desiring that, we think that, man, if I just meet the right person, if I meet the right husband, the right wife, I'm going to be happy. They're going to make me happy. And interestingly enough, when you first start dating, there is this level of happiness that maybe you think to yourself, man, I've never felt this way before. It's got to be her, that this is why I feel this way. Or it's got to be him, this is why I feel this way. And so I found it. I found that perfect person. Some people even say I found my soulmate. I don't believe in soulmates. I know some people do. I don't believe in soulmates. Because your soul is your thoughts, emotions, and your behavior. So who would be a mate for that? But anyway, that's a whole deeper teaching, right? But here's the thing. I believe relationships come into our life to help us to grow. So wait, I was trying to make sure I could see your comments, because sometimes I can't see the comments. Sorry. I can't see the comments on the computer, but I can see them on my phone. So I need you to understand that if you're in a relationship with someone, a relationship, God did not design relationship. It's going to be hard to hear for some people. God did not design relationships for happiness. And you just got to think about how relationships are. They are challenging. So they don't produce happiness. You may have moments of happy, but a relationship doesn't produce, even in your relationships with your parents, which is why I think many times we are so at war with people in our life, is because we maybe had these tremendous relationships with our parents. And then we are thinking that I'm going to be a better parent. I would never treat my child like this. We have all of these shoulds on, relationship. If as my mom, if you love me, you wouldn't have ever done that. As my dad, if you love me, you wouldn't have ever done that. Or you would do this, because we have these thoughts and beliefs about how a relationship is supposed to be built to create your happiness. And people aren't capable of that. So that's why you have to do your own internal work. And so I wrote down a lot of stuff because it's so much I want to make sure I say in this. So as I said before, no human person is designed to make you happy. Hey, Jill, thanks for coming on. You're going to get your happiness, I believe, from, first of all, happy, I think it's a temporary state. And happiness is usually depend on what's happening. What you're really searching for is joy and peace. And I believe you get that only from God. And some people will say, well, I don't believe in God and I have peace. Well, praise Jesus for you. Help me with that. I don't know how to do it. If it works for you, share with me. I am all for learning. I'm just saying, like, in my own life, I was in mental chaos. I probably didn't even know how crazy I was before I found the peace of Jesus. I was. And it literally, like, learning to live in peace was the thing that I sought the most. And so the second reason, I told you earlier, number one was a person is not supposed to make you happy in a relationship. The second thing that's probably creating the most challenging in your relationships, particularly in your marriages, is your fantasy about what a marriage is. So a person can't make you happy in a fantasy world. I told you guys earlier, fantasy was not created to move you to happiness. Only truth can set you free. And so many of us have these ideas about marriage that we've created in our mind, maybe when we were children. Hey, Kenneth, thank you for coming on. So think about that, like as a child, as a young person, what did you think or believe about marriage? If marriage is your thing, some people just want it to be in. Maybe you didn't never want it to be married, but you want it to be in a relationship, and so you had this belief about when you find the right one, what is that relationship going to look like? What I thought was interesting is that on the piece where Will and Jada talked, Will said from the time he was 5, because he grew up in a household where he literally saw his father fight his mom, punch her in the face is the words he used. At the age of 5, he began to create this fantasy of what his family was going to look like. And they was going to be happy, and they was going to have all these things, and everything was going to be perfect. So it made me think, how many of us create a fantasy about what marriage is, what relationships are, what this happiness ever after is, and the moment reality don't align with the fantasy that you have, you think there's something wrong with the spouse, there's something wrong with him, there's something wrong with her, maybe even there's something wrong with you. When the truth of the matter is, fantasy can never produce what reality has to offer. Like, you got to get that. Fantasy can't produce what reality has to offer, as well as, like, fantasy is just going to continuously set you up for hurt, pain, and disappointment. We live in a society that really struggles with reality. And particularly we struggle with reality in relationships. And it's really strange because these fantasy type relationships that, yes, unrealistic expectations, Jill said that in the comments, these fantasy relationships that we so desperately hope for, we ain't never seen them. Like, if you're real honest with yourself, you've never even seen it. You think you've seen it. Kenny said I had an entire pamphlet written out. Kenny, Kenya said I'm sorry. Kenya said she had an entire pamphlet. Please let me see your pamphlet so that I can, it could probably be my teaching points. And that's the thing. We enter into relationships with people based on our fantasy. Guys, I got something to tell you. I need you to listen. I need you to get this. Y'all human. Y'all got a whole lot of stuff with you all. Y'all got a whole lot of crazy way of thinking. You have a whole lot of, like, crazy way of processing stuff. And guess what? The people you get in relationship with, they do too. And so why do we think? So here's my crazy enter into marriage. Andre and I have been married. This year will be 23 years and together for 27 years. When I first married Andre, without really, like, consciously being aware of it, because when I met Dre, he was so together, seemingly to me. Boy, was I wrong? But he seemed so together in the sense of, like, his maturity with adult things was way further along than I was. I was 21, Dre was 23. Now, mind you, Andre had been married before he had a child, so he needed to be further along. But he came into my life talking about stuff like life insurance. These, what I consider at that time, these very adult things. So without realizing it, I had thought in my mind, this guy knows everything. Do you know how much pressure I put on Andre? Because I really, without full acknowledgement of it, had this belief or this thought that he knew everything. And not like literally everything, guys, right? But I'm just saying he knew all of the big adult stuff. And so when Andre would make a mistake or would get something wrong, I didn't have grace for him because I had a fantasy. Well, why didn't you know? How could you mess that up? What were you thinking? Didn't you know you had to do that? You're supposed to know these things. But guess what? I didn't know these things, but I didn't have any room or space for him to mess up. But I had a whole lot of grace for me So this is how that thought, those false beliefs about relationships, this is where we get in trouble. Hey, Isis, thanks for coming on. And so I want you to really start thinking about when I share this stuff, like I love being live, I love talking to people, but I really hope you don't just get off and think, okay, that was cool, that was funny, I hung out with Kenesha. Really ponder the stuff I'm sharing with you. Because if you coach with me, this is the kind of stuff I really use to challenge my coaching clients with. So here's an opportunity for you to kind of get some coaching for free. So I want you to ponder. I want you to take some time and ponder and think about what fantasies, what false beliefs do I have that I'm bringing into my marriage, into my relationships, into my hopefuls. Like I always say that to people who are single, the people you hope to bring into your life. What false beliefs do you have? And are you even clear that they're even false? Here's how you can, here's your measure. Here's how you can determine if your expectations are fair or fantasy. Can you live up to them? Can you live up to your expectations? And understand this. There are going to be some things that you can do, but because maybe your parents taught you how to do it. Here's the knocker. Your parents weren't their parents. So maybe their parents didn't teach them how to do it. What was the quote again? Fantasy. So fantasy cannot do what truth in reality. Fantasy can't handle what reality offers. So fantasy cannot handle what reality offers. Paul asked me to quote that again. What was that quote again? I think that's what I said. Because Paul, I promise you, I don't come on with a whole lot of notes. I come on with some points. But so that came up. So fantasy can't produce what reality has to offer. Yeah, it can't. It can't produce it and it can't handle it. And so the other thing I really wanted to bring to your attention today, because I'm telling you these notes were so good. One of the things that Will and Jada was talking about was like Will was saying, because he was giving Jada all of this stuff, he really thought he couldn't understand why she wasn't happy. And what Jada was missing was connection. Oh, that was so good when I heard her say that. He said he really thought he was connecting with his wife. How many of us are in relationships with people where they think they are connected to us, but you realize that something is missing? And a lot of times what's missing is that feeling of connection. So, okay, now I'm going to drop some coaching stuff on you guys right now. The need for connection is one of your 6 basic emotional needs. And so what's happening is a lot of times you have these emotional needs that are driving you, that you're trying to get met through other people. One, you're not aware of the need. Therefore, guess what? You can't even communicate it. You can't even communicate it to yourself. So if you was aware of your emotional need, then you would be able to communicate, what is this? And so for Jada, she talked about for how long she denied herself, trying to keep peace, afraid of just kind of disappointing everyone, because she didn't she didn't say these words, but really have the language to explain what she wanted most from her husband was connection, when he kept giving her things. And even though he thought in giving her the things he was giving her himself, she wasn't feeling that. And so a lot of times we're in relationships with people, and what we're desiring, our deep connection, the deep need for maybe even feeling significant, the deep need for feeling growth with this person, when that's not met, if we constantly feel like something is missing. And so then, okay, now you're in the struggle of trying to be happy, and you're trying to figure out why he can't make you happy. Here's the thing. When you understand your 6 basic needs, those really high needs, the thing that's driving you the most, guess who feels that need? God. Only God. But here's the blessing in understanding what it is you need. Then you know exactly what to go to God to ask for. And then in a relationship, you begin to learn how to communicate effectively with your partner that what I need. So here's my example of that. Before I learned these 6 basic needs, I used to say to Andre, you don't ever spend time with me. He was working, he was getting his master's degree, all those kind of things. And he was like, what are you talking about? I don't spend time with you. We just went to the movies like last week or yesterday, or we just went for a walk. What are you talking about? I don't spend time with you. When you express your need from an expectation, what you've created is an opportunity for an argument. So that might be quotable too. When you express your need from an expectation, what you've created is an opportunity for an argument. Because if I say to Andre, you don't spend time with me, he can argue that all day. What? We just did this together. We just did that together. Like, and he was good with keeping the record for when we did what. And in my mind, so now we're arguing about the time we spent together. What I learned, what I was really needing, was I needed to feel significant to him. So when I said to my husband, when I learned this, and I said to my husband, I don't feel significant to you. You've been really busy, and I'm not feeling significant. Where's the argument to that? He was like, well, let me put this down. What we need to do. See? Because I was able to effectively express my need. Wasn't about him making me happy, but I could effectively express a need that I was sincerely having. And now I wasn't accusing. It wasn't from an expectation. It was from a true need. And then when you understand your emotional needs, you can begin to speak from them. Until then, what you're speaking from are expectations, which are usually born out of fantasy. What I say about fantasy is going to get you in trouble. And so this is why you might be struggling in your relationships, because one, your communication is not as effective as you think it is, because you're communicating from a level of expectation more so than a level of even understanding your own need. And so you're trying to force a person to make you happy from a level of expectation, and that doesn't. I told you, fantasy cannot handle reality. So you got to get that. And so then the last thing I really want people to get, the thing that God created in us that will really bring us fulfillment. I won't even say happiness, but fulfillment is purpose. When you understand your purpose, when you are clear about what is my purpose in life, then you're going to find that fulfillment that you're trying to get met from something outside of yourself. And when you begin to operate in purpose, hey, Stephanie, thanks for coming on. Hey, Chris, thanks for coming on. When you begin to operate from that place of purpose, the fulfillment and the happiness you're going to have in you already. So now you're going to get in relationship with someone, and all they're doing is adding to your life. And you're adding to theirs, instead of you trying to like pull from them the part of you that needs to be fixed. Here's another point I gotta make. In your desire to find your purpose, there's probably going to be some healing required. And so this is how God, this is what I believe God teaches me. This is how it all works together. Your relationships create so much chaos and crazy in your life because God is using the relationships to awaken you to the pain, the disappointment, and the false beliefs. But you're not using your relationships for that. You're trying to get your relationships to make you happy. And God is like, I didn't design relationships to make you happy. I designed relationships to reveal to you who you are. So he's using your relationships to try to show you your pain, your false beliefs, and your junk, your crazy way, your mindset, your crazy way of thinking. Okay? If you allow the relationship to teach you that, you begin to grow in the relationship, and you say, okay, Lord, he pisses me off all the time. If he would just act right, I wouldn't be so angry. God says, let's talk about the anger. Why are you so angry, Kenisha? Because he did it. And God goes, no. Why are you so angry? Stop blaming on Andre. What's that anger in you? Huh? What God? I am angry. If I'm real honest, I'm angry all the time. Like, I'm angry at everybody. I'm angry with people at my job. I'm angry with people at the grocery store. I'm just angry. And God is like, yes. So now your husband, your spouse, the people you're in relationship with, your parents, everybody keeps triggering you in your anger. And all I want to do is I want you to see it so that then I can help you heal it. But you got to be honest. You got to acknowledge your brokenness first. And that is what is happening. And when you begin to acknowledge, oh my God, I am angry. I am angry all the time. Why are you angry, Kenisha? Okay, why am I angry, Lord? Help me do the work. Reveal to me why I'm angry. Then God will take you back to maybe when you was the little girl and you're angry because you was mistreated. You're angry because you was abused. You're angry because you was abandoned. You're angry because you was rejected. What? And so the little girl in you, or the little boy in you, is trying to make your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your mama, your daddy, the people in the grocery store, your little girl self or your little boy self is still trying to make other people make you happy because you don't know what to do with that hurt, pain, and anger that's inside of you. But listen, you take that to God. You reveal that to God. You say, God, here it is. I see it. It's me. It's not them. I ain't no Lord. I know. Okay, some of it is them, but I can't fix them. I can't change them. I can't even pray their stuff away. But if I will work with you, God, I will work in alignment with you to help me to let go of the fantasies. Show me what's a fantasy. Show me what is true about love, about relationships, about who I am. And then God starts working on that in you. He starts working, he starts working, he starts working. And then you start going, oh, okay. Guys, listen, I know I told you all this teaching was inspired by watching the Red Table Talk with Jada and Will. And then watching them, because of the work I do, I saw this. Because now Jada had learned, like the Red Table Talk, she knows that's her purpose. To share with the world that whole way of how you're looking outside of yourself for all of the answers. And it's really inside of you. Because what the Word of God says, greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. We got to understand God is within us. He's not out there. And so the healing is trying to happen from within so that we can learn to express outwardly. And then when you begin to move in your purpose and you begin to understand, okay, oh my God, God is healing me. God is fixing this. That part was broken. He's revealed to me this broken. And I may have to keep taking different parts back to Him. But in your healing, and now that your healing is going to ignite your purpose. And then you're going to take that purpose and you're going to be like, oh my God, I want to help this person. I want to help this person. I want to help this person from a healthy, effective way. When we're trying to help people from our brokenness, you get mad when they don't appreciate you. I can't believe I did all that for her. She didn't even say thank you. I can't believe I did something nice for him and he didn't appreciate it. Because you ain't doing it for them. You're doing it from your brokenness and you're doing it for the desire or the need for validation or to feel significant, the need to feel connected. You're doing it for the wrong reason because you're still doing things out of your brokenness. You're not doing it from your healed place because when you give from your healing, you just give because it's who you are, it's what you do. And you know what? If I give and no one says thank you, cool. I gave because I saw a need and I wanted to give. If I send you flowers, if I get you a gift and you don't even know it's for me, there's peace about it because I didn't do it for the gratitude. I didn't do it for the acceptance. I didn't do it for you to rave about me. I did it because the core who I am makes me just want to do something loving. So if I fix Andre's plate or fix his dinner or do something sweet and kind for him, and he doesn't say thank you, because I don't need him to do that anymore. He doesn't have to validate my every little thing anymore. My hurt, my pain is no longer controlling all of my life. There are some pieces, don't get it twisted. There are definitely still some pieces where I'm like, what is? But the work makes me go, really, little girl? How long? Okay, Kenisha, how long are we going to let the 12-year-old make the decision? I'm like, oh, that's what's happening now? Yes. God's like, yeah. Wake up. Oh, okay. You're right, God. My apologies. My 12-year-old self was trying to rule the show. Let me tell her she's okay so she can go sit down. Fixing the plate is just the norm for us. I agree. I like to hear thanks, but it's not necessary. Yeah, it's not necessary. And even, I'm gonna tell you, like, one of my little pet peeves, oh my God, used to drive me crazy because I was a big open wound. Andre, if he opens a drawer, he doesn't close it. If he opens a cabinet, he doesn't close it. He just don't. And so I knew that I started healing when I would see the drawer and the cabinet open and I didn't get angry anymore. And I just like, okay, God, that's my job. That's my job. So it just shifts everything. So Tanya says, wow, so your pain produced purpose and your healing ignites. Girl, wow. You just said something, Tanya. In fact, I'm going to have to borrow that. But yes, yeah, your pain produced purpose. But you got to go through the healing of the pain. So I was interviewing with someone recently, and I said to them, I said, the first book I ever wrote was called Think Your Way to a Better Marriage. But the book I really wanted to birth was called Purpose from Your Pain. Because it was my pain that led me to being a life coach. But I couldn't become this until I did the work, until I did the emotional work. So yes, my husband seems to think all lights in the house need to be on when he's not there. Of course, Jill, because the house needs lights. So leave them alone. And ask yourself, why does this bother me so much? And so that is what I want y'all to get. So that little thing, while he will never make you happy, or why she will never make you happy, is because relationships was never created for happiness. And here's a point that I wrote that I wanted people to know too. To find your happiness, you have to look at your brokenness. Accept that there may be flaws in the way you perceive love. Acknowledge that you could be using your marriage, your children, your relationships to cover and to avoid dealing with your hurt and pain. And so a lot of times you're in relationships with people that, we're using them to mask dealing with our own stuff. And that's not a healthy relationship, because the relationship is there to help you to reveal. And the last thing I want to say, because I wrote this down too, and I thought this was good as far as your purpose is concerned. When you sacrifice your life, your dreams, and your hopes, even for your children, there's going to be a level of sadness that comes, because Jesus sacrificed his life for us. And there is a level of sacrificial offerings that we have to do, but not to the detriment of ourselves. Okay? Like, you're not Jesus. So we're not to sacrifice to the detriment of ourselves. And also we have to remember, as moms, we have a season. So whatever your vision, your gift, your purpose is, God is not going to forget it. He still put it inside of you. You may have to put it on the shelf, but never let it go dead and cold. Never move to a place where you think, well, I'm never going to have this because money, I got to raise these kids. Hey, Aunt Linda, all that kind of stuff. Don't do that to yourself. What you do is you take notes on your dreams. You say, okay, Lord, like I remember there's a story, and then I'm going to end this. There's a story I heard of a lady who years ago, back before women, worked and this kind of thing, she was married, had 6 children. Her husband came home one day. She was in her 20s. All the children was like, I think they was between the ages of 1 and 8, 9. I mean, like they were step kids. Came home one day and said, I don't want to be married to you anymore. So the lady said she sat down and she penned, one day I want to travel around the world. Because she, somewhere in the core of who she was, in her 20s, she knew my life is not going to be like this forever. So she did what she had to do. She went out, she worked, she did what she had to do to take care of her children, because there was no financial support from her husband, who decided he just wanted to leave. So every time she would make money, she would have just a little bit left over. She would find a way to put $1 in a coffee can. Right? So over the years, she had coffee cans piled up in her closet. When she got the last child out of the house and they graduated, she went and pulled out all her coffee cans and she counted her dollars. And at that time in history, she was able to buy a ticket to get on a boat and travel around the world. Why am I sharing this story? Some of you all have a dream and you think it's too late, or you think I'm never going to be able to do it because now I have these kids. I'm a single mom. Life is hard. I don't have the money. What I'm asking you to do today is make deposits. That, to me, what she was doing, she was making deposits towards her dreams. So The reason you have to do that is because God gives you the dream to lead you towards your fulfillment, your joy, your purpose. And if you allow life, and if you decide for yourself, I got to sacrifice my whole life, all of my dreams, all of my hopes for my kids, for my husband, you're going to have a bitterness and a despise towards them. You may never admit it. You may never acknowledge it. But there's going to be something inside of you that feel like they owe you something. And it's because you so chose. You sacrificed at that level. You chose to give up everything. And maybe you did it to avoid the hurt and the pain that you're feeling. But I need you to don't bear that. Don't put that on your children. Whatever you do, if you have a dream, and know that, again, parenting is a season. It's not supposed to be forever. You're going to always be a parent, but you don't have to parent the same way, right? So what Bryson and Brown needed when they was 3 and 5, they no longer need at 15 and 16 years old. And so when they get 20 and 25, they may need me, Dre, but they won't need us the same way. When the season is, then you can, if you're intentional about holding on to your dream, holding on to your goals, trust, know, and believe, God never forgets. He never forgets the dream that he puts inside of you. So right now, where you are, make sure that you're creating dream deposits in your, whether it's a journal, it's your own cans, but do something that you can remember. Okay, this is who I am as a woman. This is who I am as a person. I'm not just a mom. I'm not just a wife. I'm not just a husband. I'm still a person, and I have these dreams and goals. And so therefore I will make deposits towards it, so that once these kids, and I make these amazing children, can go out and be self-sufficient when they are that, then I can go and begin to work on what my dream is. So I hope this has blessed someone. So Jill says it definitely feels like a forever season right now. And it will. It will. I mean, I remember when Bryson Brandon was little, it felt very forever. But now I cannot believe that my son is 18 years old and about to go to college. And every time I think about it too hard, I can let myself cry. But I'm not doing it yet. I'm going to save all those tears for the day we take him to school. And the idea that I think of, like Brianna says, Mom, I can't believe I'm going to be 16. I can't believe she's going to be 16 either. So just know that it's a season. Paul said, I was just going to ask what to do now if you are married with children and now have the realization that you described, deposits for yourself. Great. What realization? So if some of the realization is that the fantasy, begin to dig up. What are the false beliefs I have about marriage, love, and what a person's supposed to bring into my life? So if it's the fantasy, that's the kind of stuff you want to do. And then together, this is what I tell married people. Together, sit down and create a vision for your marriage. How do you know your marriage was successful? A successful marriage doesn't equal happiness. Now, eventually you should get to some happy. Don't get me wrong. But a successful marriage can be weighed by what vision did you have for the marriage? Do you have for your children? What goals have you set? And did you accomplish that together as a team, as a marriage? And then you can go, yo, we did it. And so that's been the way God has taught us. This is powerful. Thank you, Tanya. Impartition. Ann says, been there, done that. So true. Yeah, so the determined made choices from brokenness. Ooh. Listen, so if you're in that broken state, the awareness of it is part of it. Like, you got to be aware that you are broken and that you're moving from the brokenness. Then begin to figure out, see if you can track what decisions do you make from the brokenness. What does the brokenness make you do? Like, what does the anger make you do? Does it make you lash out? Does it make you curse people out? Does it make you shut off? Like, you tap out and say, I'm not talking to you for days. What does the anger make you do? And understand that that's not healthy behavior. And so begin to challenge that. And so that you can start making choices from love, wisdom, and kindness. Again, Paul, like, I'm a Christian, so I'm always looking for what does the word say about a thing. I listen to ministry all the time, marriage ministry, ministry on like self-development. How am I going to grow? Oh, Lord, okay, I do that. I will. I'm an only child. I would spend the whole day by myself. Oh, I got a husband. I got to go over there and see how that man doing. I got to touch him, rub his, because I know his love language. I don't operate. I haven't been operating in this marriage this long and haven't learned Andre's love language. I understand his highest need. But he's learned to understand that that girl, this wife that I married, she can't do it. Like, right? And that's not an excuse for me. It's not his job to make me feel significant all the time. When I need that, then I go before God and say, Lord, I'm feeling a little low. Particularly in this quarantine time, I'm so used to workshops and those kind of things. Those give me a level of significance. So when I can't have that, then I go before God and I say, God, I'm running a little bit on empty. Can you fill me up? And then I sit in his presence until I feel his love, feel his joy, feel and I know that, wow, man, God loves me so much. Like he would come and be be with me. How significant is that the God of the universe would come and be with you? So then I don't have to put that weight and that pressure on Andre to do that for me. So Paul, I would really encourage you to begin to work with the brokenness, become aware of it. Or you can sign up for my program, my coaching program, and I can teach you how to, what my program does. It literally begins to help you think about what you're thinking about. It reveals your false beliefs, your false messages, because it comes from pain. Then you begin to learn who you are through your emotion or needs and your values. And then you begin to reshape your mind with new beliefs and new thoughts and vision. That literally is what my program does. And I can do that in 6 weeks. And as long as you do the work, as long as you dig deep, the transformation is absolutely amazing. And I had my last client said to me, I have a new client starting this week. But my last client, I worry so much about being correct. But anyway, one of my clients said to me, I should say, she said, Kanisha, once you wake up, you can't go back to sleep, huh? Because what does that mean? Now her mind is aware of that she is, when she is and isn't operating at her best level. And so now she can't cop out and go, well, that's just who I am. Because she knows that's not who she is. And that's what our pain would do. We would think, well, that's just my personality to cuss people out. That's not your personality. That's just how I am. I got to tell the truth. If you're telling the truth in anger and hate and not in kindness, that's not who you are. That's your pain, your soul wounds running your life. It has nothing to do with you. It's what it's doing is giving you a bad reputation. And it's it's destroying all your relationships, which is making Satan very happy. And so that's why you have to begin to realize relationships are not meant for your happiness. They're meant to help you grow. They help to reveal stuff to you, about you, that needs to be healed. So Isis says, what do you do when they have not shared love language with you? Girl, y'all better get that book. I'm talking about when they haven't shared the love language, they might not know it. So sometimes as women, we got to understand something. Men and women, we're different, right? When I say, me and Andre read the book, Love Languages, what that literally means, and we agree to this, that means, Kanisha, you read the book. You tell me about it. You ask me out loud the questions for the quiz. If I don't know which one is mine, and then I'm going to tell you what it is. I don't put the pressure on Andre to read the crazy stuff I read. Like, I invite him to certain things. Yesterday was this really cool video that I heard, and I was like, babe, this happened, when you listen to it, and he did it. But then there are times where he's like, I was like, babe, I'm going to take this course. It's all about this. He's like, okay. It's like, can I share with you? He will receive it that way, but he's not going to sit down with me and listen to this kind of stuff. But he will listen to it from me. He's not going to listen to it with me. And so as wives, we have to understand that. That this notion of our husbands sitting down and doing things, this again, is our fantasy, right? I had a fantasy that when we became Christians, that Andre would sit down and read the word to the kids. That was a fantasy. And when he wasn't doing that, because I'm like, that's what godly men's supposed to do, I was judging him. What I later learned, when the kids would come home and say, they would tell me something they learned about the Bible or God, and I'm like, who told you that? And they're like, Daddy. So when did Daddy tell you that? In the car when we was on our way to play basketball. When he took us to the park. So Dre wasn't going to sit down with the Bible and teach the kids that way. He's going to teach them with their movement while they're doing things. And I was like, oh. So God had to reveal to me. He was like, stop thinking you and Andre are not the same. Y'all are not alike. You're not going to do things the same way. But you got to honor the way he teaches the kids. You have to honor the way he does manhood, the way he does marriage. It's not going to look like the way you do it. I have read it twice. So cool. So now that you're reading it, like, now you know what it says, Isis. I would encourage you to go in there and figure out little questions you can ask your husband. Even if it's like don't quiz him. Just ask him, babe, do you like when I do this? How does it make you feel when I do that? And then whatever his answer is, then you for yourself figure out what his love language is. And then you pour into that part that you like. If his love language is quality time, you give him more quality time. If it's words of affirmation, which a lot of men it is, then you begin to speak that to him, and then you see the results of it. You go, oh, this probably love language is words of affirmation. Let me leave him a little note. Let me text him a little, piece of love. So we just have to, as women, it's not about tricking our husbands. We have to be open and understanding to knowing that they are not like us. They are just not like this. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna get off. I mean, this is the thing I say about women and men. When God created Adam and Eve, He created Adam one way from dirt, and He created Eve from her rib. But then He put Adam to sleep when He created her. So what that tells me is Adam, the way a woman is, it ain't none of Adam's business because God put him asleep. But the important thing was that they must be connected. And so we're not going to fully understand each other, but we need each other. The connection means we need each other. And it says that we have to learn to love and respect each other. And we have to learn how to love each other. Men require respect. That's a sign of love, admiration, praise. That's how men receive love. And women, many times, love looks like security and honest, like integrity. So brothers, if you really want to love us, make sure whatever you say you're going to do it. A level of security. Women really need security. Make sure that bank account look right. Make sure them bills are paid, because that for us speaks love, because we really crave security. All right, I'm good. Absolutely. We took the quiz. Yes. So, all right. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching. If you learned anything, share this out. Okay. I told you I would offer you something for free. If you really desire, if you want some help, I will offer everyone on this who watches this video today, or whether you watch it a replay, send me an inbox and I will give you a free 30-minute coaching consultation for free, which is really cool. So thank you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.